Most seniors live surrounded by items they haven't touched in over 15 years, and research now shows this silent clutter isn't harmless. It quietly fuels stress, saps energy, and can even disrupt sleep at night. Every drawer stuffed with someday items, every closet crammed with clothes that no longer fit, every pile of old papers sitting in the corner, it all weighs heavier than we realize. And maybe you felt it too, that drained feeling every time you walk past the same stack, telling yourself you'll deal with it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. But what if you didn't need weeks or months of exhausting effort to finally feel free? What if, in just one focused day, you could breathe easier in your own home, wake up to calm instead of chaos, and actually enjoy the space you've worked so hard for all your life? Today, I'll walk you step by step through the Transformative One-Day Declutter Challenge, a stress-free system that seniors across the US are calling truly life-changing. And before we dive in, hit like and subscribe, because what you'll learn here could give you back not just your home, but years of peace, confidence, and freedom. Meet Leonora Carmichael, though everyone in her small town calls her Nora. At 80 years old, she's a retired quilt maker from the rolling countryside of Maine. For decades, Nora stitched together blankets of love, each quilt a story told in fabric. But along with those quilts came the scraps, the odds and ends of cloth she couldn't bear to toss. Over the years, those scraps multiplied until her home was overflowing with baskets, bins, and boxes stuffed with more than 200 pieces of fabric. She'd laugh and say, "One day, this scrap will be useful." But the truth was, most of them sat untouched for decades. Then came the wake-up call. One chilly evening, Nora tripped over a basket of cloth near her stairs. She caught herself before falling, but the shock stayed with her. In that moment, she realized clutter wasn't just stealing space in her home, it was threatening her safety, her independence, and her peace of mind. For the first time, she admitted to herself that holding on was costing her more than letting go. That's when Nora decided to try something different. Instead of endless weekends buried in clutter, she committed to one focused, one-day challenge. And what happened next didn't just transform her house, it transformed her heart. Let's step into the system that gave Nora back her home, her confidence, and her freedom. Step number 1. The morning fresh start. Every transformation begins with a single step, and in the One-Day Declutter Challenge, that step starts right where the day begins, the bedroom. Seniors often underestimate how much their mornings set the tone for the rest of the day. Waking up to cluttered nightstands, unmade beds, and stuffy air sends a silent message that the day is already overwhelming. But clearing that very first space creates instant momentum. The task is simple: make the bed, clear the surfaces, and open the windows. But the effect is powerful. By smoothing out her quilt, Nora said it felt like she was honoring her years of quilt making instead of burying them under piles of scattered fabric scraps. She cleared her nightstand, removing old receipts, water cups, and expired medicine bottles that had been gathering dust. In just a few minutes, the room shifted from heavy to light, from chaotic to calm. Science backs up this small act. Research in 2025 has shown that seniors who start the day with a made bed and tidy bedroom report higher energy and lower stress throughout the day. A fresh, organized space lowers cortisol levels, the body's stress hormone, and improves mental clarity. For seniors over 60, that clarity matters. It means remembering the grocery list, feeling confident in daily tasks, and even reducing fall risk because surfaces are clear. And don't skip the fresh air. Opening windows, even in winter for just a few minutes, improves indoor air quality and lifts mood. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to stale indoor air, which can worsen fatigue and respiratory issues. Nora noticed that the morning breeze drifting in made her room smell less like yesterday and more like possibility. Nora put it perfectly: it felt like I had already finished something big before breakfast. That one accomplishment gave her momentum. Instead of feeling like she was drowning in decades of clutter, she felt in control, ready to face the rest of her home. So, if the thought of decluttering your whole house feels impossible, start small. Start where you sleep. Start with the morning fresh start. Because when your first sight of the day is calm, clean, and fresh, you'll carry that strength with you into every corner of your home. Step number 2. Bathroom reset. After starting the day with a clean bedroom, The next step in the one-day declutter challenge moves into a space seniors often overlook, the bathroom. For many older adults, bathrooms quietly become storage zones, not just for daily essentials but for decades of half-used bottles, lotions, expired prescriptions, and makeup that hasn't been touched in years. What seems harmless clutter can actually create hidden risks. Expired products can cause skin irritation, tripping hazards lurk in overcrowded cabinets, and the sheer weight of unused items adds to that sense of overwhelm. For Nora, this step was more than just clearing a shelf. She opened her bathroom cabinet and discovered jars of cold cream from the 1980s, lipstick shades she hadn't worn since her quilting group days, and a perfume bottle she had kept untouched for 12 years. The perfume was her late husband's favorite scent. At first, the idea of letting it go made her cry. But then something shifted. She realized the bottle was no longer serving her. It was sitting, evaporating, and taking up emotional space. By releasing it, she wasn't letting go of him. She was making room to breathe. "I cried when I tossed it," she said, "but the very next moment, I felt like my bathroom had taken a deep breath too." This is the heart of the bathroom reset, clearing not just physical items, but also the emotional dust they carry. Seniors across the US in 2025 are embracing this concept, guided by new awareness that expired products can be more than clutter, they can be unsafe. Dermatologists now warn that expired skincare can harbor bacteria that cause infections, and old makeup can worsen eye problems like irritation or conjunctivitis, which seniors are already more vulnerable to. Even lotions lose their effectiveness over time, leaving seniors frustrated when the products no longer soothe dry skin. The reset isn't about throwing away memories, it's about choosing health, safety, and peace over cluttered shelves. By clearing space, seniors make it easier to actually use the products that still serve them. Nora kept her favorite lavender lotion and her daily moisturizer front and center. Suddenly, her bathroom felt functional again, not like a museum of old bottles. And here's the best part, this reset doesn't take hours. In just 20 to 30 minutes, with one trash bag and one recycling bin, seniors can transform their bathroom from a dusty archive into a refreshing space that supports their well-being. Imagine how much calmer it feels to reach for one reliable product instead of sifting through dozens. Nora's lesson was clear, letting go of that perfume wasn't about forgetting, it was about breathing easier. And every senior deserves that same breath of relief. Step number 3. Kitchen lighten up. After refreshing the bathroom, the next stop in the one-day declutter challenge is the heart of the home, the kitchen. For seniors, this space often carries decades of habits, memories, and just-in-case items tucked into cupboards and pantries. But here's the hidden truth. Kitchens also hold some of the heaviest emotional clutter, from expired canned goods to gadgets bought with good intentions but never used. Nora confessed that opening her pantry felt like opening a time capsule. She found soup cans nearly as old as her youngest grandchild, dusty spice jars with labels faded from the 1990s, and a bread maker she hadn't touched in over a decade. Each item had a whisper of a story, "I'll make that recipe someday," or "We bought that for Christmas brunch." But instead of inspiring her, those items weighed her down. She laughed when she said, "My pantry was older than I was." The science backs her feelings. In 2025, nutritionists are warning seniors that expired pantry staples can quietly undermine health. Old oils turn rancid, dried herbs lose potency, and stale cereals can cause digestive issues. And cluttered counters increase the risk of spills and accidents, especially when mobility or balance is already a challenge. Nora started small, one trash bag for expired goods and one donation box for items still safe but unused. With each cleared shelf, her kitchen didn't just look neater, it felt younger, fresher, and safer. When she finally wiped down her counters and gave her sink a deep clean, she paused, smiled, and said, "My kitchen looked 10 years younger, and so did I." That wasn't just about appearances, it was about how light and energized she felt standing in a space that no longer carried the weight of forgotten food and dust-covered gadgets. The beauty of this step is its simplicity. Seniors don't need to tackle every drawer or scrub every cabinet. The focus is on 3 key actions. 1. Toss expired pantry food, items that no longer serve your health. 2. Clear the counters, remove visual clutter and make space for peace. 3. Wash the sink. Restore the one spot that sets the tone for the whole kitchen. Together, these small but powerful actions create an instant transformation. In less than an hour, a senior's kitchen can shift from a draining, overwhelming space into a lighter, calmer, and more welcoming one. For Nora, this was more than a kitchen reset, it was a personal one. She felt capable, proud, and motivated to continue. As she said, "I didn't just clean my kitchen, I gave myself permission to live in the present, not the past." Step number 4. Living room liberation. After refreshing the kitchen, the next battlefield of clutter is often the living room. The space meant for comfort and connection, but for many seniors, it becomes a dumping ground for piles of magazines, stacks of mail, and little someday projects. This isn't just about appearances. Experts warn that visual clutter in common spaces increases stress hormones, raises blood pressure, and even disrupts sleep because your brain never feels fully at rest. For Nora, this step was emotional. Her coffee table had slowly disappeared beneath crossword puzzle books, unopened mail, 3 remote controls, and coasters she never used. She laughed when she finally saw the wood grain again and said, "When I could finally see my coffee table again, it felt like I got my living room back." The key here is focus on visible surfaces first. Seniors don't need to overhaul the entire room in one exhausting sweep. Instead, pick just 3 spots. Coffee table, clear it completely, wipe it down, then return only 1 or 2 meaningful items, like a photo frame or a vase of flowers. TV stand, remove outdated DVDs, broken remotes, or dustcoat knickknacks. Make it a calm space that doesn't compete for your attention. 1 shelf, choose a bookshelf, cabinet, or mantel. Keep what brings joy, release what only gathers dust. Nora discovered something surprising during this process. As she cleared her shelf, she found old greeting cards from birthdays long past. At first, she hesitated to part with them, but then she realized the memories were in her heart, not in fading paper. She kept 1 card from her late husband and let the rest go. Her words were powerful. "For years, I thought I was holding on to love by keeping everything. But love doesn't live on shelves, it lives in me." This is where the living room step becomes transformative. It's not just about dusting or decluttering, it's about reclaiming the heart of the home. Seniors spend more waking hours in their living room than in any other space, and a clutter-free, calm environment directly supports relaxation, safety, and pride. By the time Nora finished this step, she didn't just see her living room differently, she felt lighter in her own skin. She said, "I didn't just clean a table. I created a place I could welcome people into again. I wasn't embarrassed anymore." And that's the real liberation. Removing the clutter that steals both your space and your confidence, and replacing it with peace, pride, and presence. Step number 5, the basket sweep. One of the most overlooked reasons seniors feel exhausted when cleaning isn't the amount of clutter, it's the endless back and forth trips. Picking up a book in the living room, walking it to the bedroom, finding a pair of glasses in the kitchen, carrying them back to the nightstand. That constant motion wears down knees, strains backs, and steals energy before the job even feels started. This is where the basket sweep comes in, a deceptively simple but life-changing step. Instead of darting around the house like a ping-pong ball, you carry 1 sturdy laundry basket with you. Walk slowly, 1 room at a time, and simply gather anything that doesn't belong: a scarf left on the couch, a coffee mug from yesterday, that stack of mail you meant to sort, or even a stray shoe hiding near the door. Don't put things away yet. Just collect. For Nora, this hack became her personal breakthrough. She described it as her basket of freedom. Instead of exhausting herself by running from room to room, she made a single calm sweep. She told me, "It felt like I was gathering up my mess without letting it scatter me in the process." What makes this method so powerful for seniors is not just the physical energy it saves, it also organizes decision-making. When everything that's out of place is collected in 1 basket, you're no longer distracted by the clutter in every direction. You can sit comfortably, maybe even at the kitchen table, and sort through the basket piece by piece. Decide what goes where, what needs tossing, and what can be donated, all without constant standing and walking. Experts in occupational therapy often recommend this technique for older adults because it reduces fall risk. No rushing around corners, no arms full of loose items, no bending repeatedly to pick things up. It's controlled, safe, and efficient. And emotionally, it takes the sting out of clutter. Instead of clutter controlling you, you're the one containing it. Nora shared a touching moment. When she emptied her first basket sweep, she found 3 of her late husband's books mixed with old magazines. For years, she felt paralyzed at the thought of sorting his things. But seeing them alongside grocery ads and junk mail made the decision clearer. She kept the books that meant something, and let the rest go. That basket gave me the courage to choose what mattered most, she said. By the end of this step, Nora didn't just see less clutter, she felt a sense of victory. Her body wasn't aching from dozens of trips. Her mind wasn't spinning from distractions. She had created a single, clear path to order. The basket sweep isn't just a cleaning hack. For seniors, it's a symbol of control, safety, and peace of mind. And in a single afternoon, it can transform overwhelming chaos into something tangible and manageable. Step number 6. Donation made simple. One of the hardest parts of decluttering for seniors isn't the dust, the lifting, or even the time, it's the emotional tug-of-war with belongings. Every sweater holds a story, every dish sparks a memory, and every book feels like a piece of identity. That's why so many seniors stall when they reach the moment of letting go. They ask, what if I need it again? What if someone in the family wants it later? But here's the breakthrough. Decluttering doesn't have to feel like loss. It can feel like giving. That's why this step is so powerful. Pick just 1 bag or 1 box to donate that same day. Not 10, not 20, just 1. It keeps the process light, simple, and doable. Nora's story illustrates this perfectly. She admitted she once froze for hours staring at her closet, trying to decide which pieces to let go. But when she reframed it, not as losing clothes but as passing blessings forward, everything changed. She filled a single bag with coats she hadn't worn in years. As she zipped it up, she whispered, "Someone else will be warm because of this." That single thought lifted the guilt off her shoulders. This step also solves a practical challenge many seniors face: donation piles that never leave the house. They stack in the garage, by the front door, or in the trunk of the car, only to sit there for months. The clutter just changes location. That's why it's important to not just fill the bag but also schedule the handoff the same day. Whether it's a Goodwill drop-off, a church thrift store, or a local charity pickup app that many seniors are now using in 2025, the action of removing it from the house is what creates the true transformation. Health professionals even note that donating items boosts mental well-being for seniors. It's a form of contribution, a way to still make a difference in the community. That sense of purpose can be as energizing as the decluttered space itself. For Nora, the act of donation was healing. She said, "When I gave those books away, I pictured a young student discovering them for the first time. Suddenly, my home wasn't emptier, it was fuller, with peace." And there's another unexpected benefit. Donation builds momentum. One bag leads to another. Once seniors feel how freeing it is, they often want to repeat the process. Nora started with coats. A week later, she sent a box of old cookbooks to the church library. And slowly, her house shifted from heavy with someday things to light with only the essentials and the meaningful. This step is not about clearing out your life in one massive purge. It's about making decluttering simple, emotional, and rewarding. By committing to just 1 bag or box, seniors gain the confidence to continue without the burden of overwhelm. Nora summed it up beautifully. "I thought I was saying goodbye. But really, I was saying hello, to peace, space, and the joy of giving." Step number 7. Evening calm ritual. The final step of the one-day declutter challenge isn't about doing more, it's about sealing your progress with peace. By evening, many seniors feel a mix of pride and fatigue, and that's why ending with a gentle, intentional ritual matters. Instead of crashing into bed surrounded by half-finished tasks, this step creates closure and sets the tone for tomorrow. Here's how it works. Take just 15 minutes to restore calm. Wipe down the kitchen or coffee table, empty small trash bins around the house, and set out something simple that soothes you: a candle, a vase of flowers, or even soft background music. These little gestures act like a signal to your brain that the work is done and it's time to rest. For Nora, this ritual was life-changing. After a full day of decluttering, she would have once collapsed into her recliner, drained and frustrated, staring at what still felt unfinished. But with this new step, she slowed down, moved gently from room to room, and gave herself permission to savor the progress. She described lighting a lavender-scented candle in her living room, sitting down with a cup of tea, and realizing, for the first time in decades, I ended a day feeling proud, not exhausted. The evening calm ritual is also about anchoring your success emotionally. Seniors often struggle with a lingering sense of guilt after decluttering, worrying about what was given away or whether they did enough. This step erases that doubt by turning the day's work into a celebration. It's not about what left the house, it's about what you created, a calmer, safer, more welcoming home. Research even supports this approach. Studies in 2025 show that closing the day with intentional calming activities lowers blood pressure and improves sleep quality in older adults. That means this ritual doesn't just protect your peace of mind, it supports your physical health too. By linking decluttering with rest instead of exhaustion, you're training your body and mind to see cleaning not as punishment but as a gift. And perhaps most importantly, this ritual creates a new story. Instead of ending the day surrounded by clutter and frustration, seniors can end it with pride, gratitude, and calm. Nora said that after her first full one-day challenge, she sat in her decluttered living room, candle flickering softly, and whispered to herself, "I did it." That moment mattered more than any box she donated or drawer she cleared. It was the proof that transformation was possible. So, as you finish your one-day challenge, remember, don't skip this step. The evening calm ritual isn't just about cleaning your house, it's about honoring yourself. It's a reminder that even in later years, you can still create change, still take control, and still end a day not just surviving, but truly thriving. As the day comes to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've just walked through together. The 7 steps: bedroom reset, bathroom shine, kitchen sweep, living room liberation, basket sweep, donation, and evening ritual aren't just tasks on a checklist. They are stepping stones to something much greater, reclaiming peace, safety, and joy in your own home. Think about it. When you wake up in a freshly made bed, clear the clutter from your bathroom and kitchen, see your living room surfaces shine, and finish the evening with a simple calm ritual, you're not just decluttering your house. You're decluttering your mind, your energy, and your spirit. It's not about perfection, it's about freedom. Nora reflected on this in a way that stuck with me. It wasn't just my home that felt lighter, it was me. That one sentence captures the heart of this challenge. Clutter isn't just stuff, it's emotional weight. And when you set it down, even for just one day, you give yourself permission to feel younger, freer, and more in control again. And now, I want to ask you, which step would you start with today? Tell us in the comments. I'd love to hear how this one-day challenge might transform your space and your peace of mind. Remember, sharing your story might just inspire another senior who feels stuck. If Nora's story gave you hope, don't keep it to yourself. Hit like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend, neighbor, or family member who deserves not just a cleaner home, but a calmer heart. These videos are more than tips, they're a movement to help seniors everywhere reclaim their freedom, one small step at a time. And before you go, here's a teaser. In our next video, we'll be uncovering 9 surprising cleaning shortcuts that save seniors hours every single week. These hacks are simple, smart, and could make your daily routine easier than you ever imagined. So don't miss it, because your time and your energy are worth protecting.